Hello everyone, I'm Professor Liu,
Hi, and I'm Professor Chiu.
and welcome to this episode of Khan Academy's educational series. This week we are going to look into the Chinese gardens in Singapore.
That's right, we are going to discuss and talk about some really interesting stories about this forgotten tourist attraction.
So what exactly is Chinese garden? I mean, not many Singaporeans know about it, right?
Well, the Chinese garden is located in a park in Jurong East. It was built in the 1975 and designed by a Taiwanese architect known as Professor Yuan Chunyu.
We can see that the entire concept is modeled based on the northern Chinese imperial style of architecture and landscaping. Well, the admission is now free, so why not go down and have a look for yourself when you're free?
Yes, that is what Khan Academy did. We sent out reporter down to look and gather some really interesting stories from different peoples at the gardens.
Our reporter interviewed the security guard, Mr. Singh, on duty to find out more interesting sightings. He revealed that the only people who visit the place are usually the Filipinos and Banglas.
There are some Chinese and Indians as well. They are mostly foreigners, right?
Yes, according to the security guard, this is actually their dating hotspot. Oh, not to forget, people are constantly breaking the rules. Rules like no pets, no picnic, no cycling, but you know, the guard tends to close one eye sometimes.
Well, he probably had to. This place is already empty enough. They really want to keep their visitors.
Yes, on weekends, however, you will be shocked. The garden is actually very crowded. Let's take a look at one of the key attractions. This is the bonsai garden.
The Bonsai Garden was opened in 1992 and houses a collection of over 2,000 bonsais imported from all over the world.
But I'm totally clueless about bonsais.
No, you don't have to worry one bit because informative boards placed all around the garden will educate you with what you need to know.
That's really thoughtful of them.
Walking into the garden gives you a very refreshing feeling. Imagine surrounded by beautiful bonsais.
But you can't really enjoy all that under the Singapore's weather, can you?
Nope, you can't. But you cannot deny that this place really calms your mood down. A nice place to relax.
Okay, wait, isn't that one of the terracotta figures from Qin Shi Huang's tomb?
Yeah, I've heard it's the actual one that they excavated and then imported into Singapore.
No way, are you serious?
Just kidding.
Our reporter met a really interesting portfolio. Mr. Cheng Hui Jiang is a retiree who constantly visits the Chinese gardens to trim his bonsais.
You mean like his own bonsais?
That's right, citizens can actually place their bonsais at a designated area for the public's viewing.
I think that's really a great way of getting citizens engaged with the garden.
Well, not really. According to Mr. Chen, people who visit the place are foreigners who are there for dates. There are absolutely no locals who even bother to come to appreciate the plants.
It's really sad. Mr. Chen did give some good suggestions on how primary schools can bring the students over to plant their own seeds.
That's right, this place is a good educational ground for the children. It is very informative and they even have Confucius himself there as some sort of educational mascot.
Wait, and is that the Ashokan pillar?
That is out of the point.
We also interviewed a foreign worker and his wife. His name is Shrikant. They are both from India and came to work in Singapore 9 years ago.
That's right. When asked why they were at the Chinese gardens, they just thought that it was a beautiful place to spend their afternoon together.
How sweet.
Yes, and you don't even have to spend a single cent.
This is budgeting 101.
I actually do believe that this is quite a nice place for dating. There are benches and shelters all over the place, which is kind of convenient for some romantic actions.
You know what? I might plan to have my future honeymoon here.
God bless your wife.
Oh, by the way, there's this beautiful turtle museum inside the Chinese gardens. We interviewed the person in charge, Auntie Ong Siu Li, to hear her opinions.
Yes, according to her, the human traffic is even worse than actual traffic on the road.
The emptiness of the place is almost heartbreaking.
Well, she did make some good suggestions like having buggies to bring in the visitors because of the hot weather and distance from the MRT station.
They do have buggies though, just not for the visitors, which is really sad.
Even the turtles look sad. Look at those puppy eyes.
Sadness aside, the Turtle Museum does contain really interesting and exotic species.
Unfortunately, you have to pay to enter the museum and Khan Academy is just too budget for that.
Which makes sense why they can only afford the both of us for this commentary.
The Pagoda Tower is probably the most prominent building in the Chinese garden.
That's right. In fact, if you take a train regularly, you'll be able to see it as you commute from Chinese Garden MRT to Lakeside MRT station.
It's a beautiful tower. I heard that in the past, gods used towers like this to subdue demons.
Do you want to be subdued?
Let's go.
The tower is 7 stories high and it's not easy to climb all the way up on a hot weather. The view from the top was amazing though.
Before you can enjoy this breathtaking view, you probably have to stop to take in breath after the climb.
Our reporter managed to spot a family cosplaying as Ang Baos near the tower.
It's really heartwarming how tourists still visit this place despite the hot weather and even dress to fit into the Chinese culture. There are a lot more beautiful sightings in the gardens like the floating boat platform and the beautiful lakes and bridges.
That's right, it's a really scenic place if you need to do filming or photography in the future.
Yes, personally I felt that more advertising and campaigns can be implemented to boost the popularity of this place.
Well, there are events held here once in a while like the Jurong Lake Run or the Mid-Autumn Festival decoration which can attract quite a crowd.
But like what our reporters found out, this place definitely needs some revamp, don't you think so?
Oh yes, I agree. By the way, we didn't really get to see the security guard that our reporter interviewed, right?
Well, he insists on not wanting to be on camera when he's working. But nothing is impossible for our professional reporter. I'm Professor Liu.
And I'm Professor Chiu, signing off.
Bye bye.